This is a new segment that we're doing on the show that it's very near and dear to my heart, giving strategies for having the best experience in a classroom. And I look at this from lots of different ways. This segment is for teachers, but it's also for parents because we want to empower ourselves to help make that experience in the classroom the best possible one that we can have. So here we are. We're in April, and I know it's Autism Awareness Month and it's all that fuzzy stuff, but the reality is if you're not hearing the clock ticking, let me remind you to focus your hearing because it's ticking. Some of you might be having spring break this week, you might be having it next week, you might have already had it, but at this point in the year, if your child is already in school, it's the wind down is starting. How many weeks are left for you? Is it 6 weeks? Is it 8 weeks? Somewhere in the neighborhood of that. It's probably less than 10 weeks before summer vacation. And a lot can happen in summer vacation that can propel your child to better success in the coming year, or it can slide them back. In fact, teachers call this thing that can happen in the summer slide. They test kids at the end of the year because they're doing their best. And it's that moment, and your child may or may not have a standardized test coming up sometime in the next couple of weeks. But this is the moment they do it because it's the moment when they've had the most instruction, they know the most, and then the summer's going to happen. And most kids don't continue to go up in learning in the summer. Most kids have the summer slide where they will dip 10 to 20% of what they learned in the previous year. In fact, summer slide is so intense at this point that most of the time when they come back to the school year, they will spend the first 8 weeks of the school year reviewing what they learned last year in school. 8 weeks, that's much more than it ever used to be because summer slide is so intense. Now, look at it two ways here. For our kiddos who are on the autism spectrum, there is a huger risk of slide. In fact, it's written in, I think you have to show, or there has to be a concern that they could lose more than, is it 20 or 30%? And if they do, then they're given extended school year, which means they get summer school. If there is a fear that your child will have an intense slide that will put them further back, you'll be offered that in your IEP and you can ask for it. Some people don't get offered it for whatever reason, but whether you're offered the extended school year, whether you take it, whether you don't take it, now this is the moment in April to start thinking about what are we going to do to prevent the summer slide. We actually did an entire series about this last year that is on our YouTube channel, and we did 6 different things to prevent the summer slide. You can check it out. But I think it's an opportunity. If we look at this and go, okay, if the rest of the kids are going to slide back 10% and my child is a little bit behind, and what if my child doesn't slide at all? What if my child gains 20? You're going to be closing the gap. And that's how I like to think of summer. I think it's got to be fun. I think it's got to be educational, and it's got to be varied. I definitely, as a former teacher and as a parent, try to think of, okay, what could we accomplish during this time period? What's one thing that we really got to work on so that success is better? What's one thing that he's not gonna like, that he doesn't want to work on, but that I gotta find a way to make it fun? And what's one thing that I can give him wings to fly? That's something where I can take the skills that he's got and have them bump that much further. For my kid, he's into computers, and so I'm always looking for a way to give him that much more for computers. I'll tell you something, there's camps out there, they're everywhere, but you gotta have money to be able to do them. They're so expensive. There's a computer camp that I would love to send my kid to. It's $1,400 for 1 week. And it's not a sleepover camp, and they don't even feed them lunch, and they're done at 3:30. I'm sorry, I've gone into the wrong business. $1,400? Whoo, that's a lot of money. Remember earlier in the show I talked about Temple Grandin saying Khan Academy? Khan Academy is free. You can have, starting in kindergarten, you can have your child take a class on Khan Academy for free. It's educational, it's fun, it has videos, it's a good thing. And there are lots of other sites as well, but Khan, Khan, every single subject that there is. Find something that they'll really love. You can start with early coding classes if they're interested in computers, but there's everything under the sun. There's painting, graphic arts, there's all kinds of things. Check it out. It's Temple Grandin approved and recommended. Okay, so prevent the summer slide. Think about it now so that you're not caught off guard when suddenly it's the last week of May and you go, oh no, danger, Will Robinson, what are we doing? Okay, and add in some cultural things too. I love taking my kid to museums.